This is Your Money, Your Wealth.
Welcome to another episode of Your Money, Your Wealth. Joe Anderson here, certified financial planner, alongside, of course, the big man right over there, Big Al Clopine. Thanks for tuning in. Got a great show lined up. It's a little challenging in today's environment, especially when you are retired. A lot of crazy things going on in the world. Stock market is volatile. Things are going on that is unimaginable. Ebola. Where did they come up with these names? I have no idea. But it's scary stuff. People are freaking out. The markets are freaking out. And so here's what we want to get into today is looking at if you're retired and if you're creating retirement income from your overall portfolio. And when markets get volatile, that's difficult enough. But where are you going to pull the money from? What accounts do you pull the money from? How is it going to be taxed to you? That's what's on my mind today. Couple of things. Let's look at the math of the market when you're looking at taking retirement income. Let's say I have $100,000 saved. The market drops 30%. The next year, the market's up 30%. Do I have my $100,000 back? The answer is not even close. Here's the deal. $100,000 saved, the market drops 30%. I have now $70,000. The market's back up 30%, but 30% on 70 grand is only 21,000. So I still don't have my capital back. Now, if I'm pulling money from the portfolio in down markets, you can see how fast that your capital can deplete. Let's bring in Big Al and talk about what you should be doing when it comes to your retirement income. My friend, crazy times out there, man.
It's yet another Saturday, and boy, this is such an important topic, Joe. I mean, really, when you think about it, you got your assets, you've been saving, and it's a different time than it used to be. Think about a generation ago. So a generation ago, our parents had more pension plans. They had Social Security. We still have Social Security. Some of us still have pension plans, but many don't. Now we have things like 401ks and 403bs and IRAs, and we got to figure out how to do an income distribution plan so that we're not going to run out of money. And that's what we want to talk about today, is the key considerations. Number one has got to be, how much can you withdraw from your accounts, and to make sure that you're not going to run out of money over your lifetime. Second thing we want to talk about is, where do you get the funds from? Which investments? Do you take them from your cash account or your bonds, your safe investments, maybe your stocks, or maybe a combination? We want to get into that. And then finally, now because a lot of people have retirement accounts, some people have Roth IRAs, some people have money outside of retirement, we'll talk about which accounts do you pull from. And I'll give you a key here, which is it depends upon taxation. So we'll be getting into that a bit. But Joe, this is such an important thing, which is the fact that people now have to create their own retirement plan. What, are you messing with your ear?
Yeah.
Trying to talk to you.
I'm just totally ignoring you. It's all right. Go ahead.
Anyway, but this is an important topic. Because, yeah, he didn't want to listen to me, that's what Ty said. But at any rate, because now what? We got IRAs, we got 401ks, maybe we inherited some money, maybe we saved some money outside of retirement. Now what? How do we create an income stream out of that?
And here's the problem with things, is that what the advice that a lot of people are getting, if you look at old school financial planning, is that, all right, well, here, I'm retiring, how do I get income? Well, if you go back in the 80s, you could buy a CD and you would get 15% interest. Today, you're lucky on that. Let's say I have $100,000. I could get 15 grand of interest on a $100,000 investment. Today, you'd be lucky if you got $260 a year. So when you look at how do you create the retirement income, it's not searching for what is the best yield or what is the best rate of return, because then you'll be taking on too much risk. Secondly, is like, where are you going to be pulling the money from? A lot of times you will deplete the cash or assets that are sitting outside of your retirement first, and then you'll hit your retirement accounts. I think that advice is flawed, just given where tax rates are right now and where we believe tax rates are going to go in the future. If you do this right, you can have a lot more income. The income is going to be with you that much longer, and then potentially you can pass that much more to the next generation. That's what I really want to get into today, is just dispel some of the myths of old school planning and really help people understand, how do you create the retirement income? How do you tap the income from your retirement accounts?
Yeah, I think, as we said, it's such an important topic because a lot of us have accounts, and a lot of us are trying to create retirement accounts tax efficiently. So I think probably the first topic is how much? How much can you withdraw from your accounts? And there's a rule of thumb. It's called the 4% rule. It's been around for a few decades, which basically means you can withdraw 4% of your portfolio assets. If you have $100,000, 4% is only $4,000. That's the amount. If you have $1 million, 4% is $40,000. So what's a portfolio asset? Well, these are assets that are either in the stock market or cash or bonds. They might be in 401ks, they might be in 403bs, they might be in 457 plans, they might be cash accounts, they might be accounts that you have outside of retirement, they might be SEP IRAs, they might be inherited accounts.
That's a lot of accounts.
It is. So I'm hoping everyone has all those
I think
accounts.
you hit every single account. You want to say
and also
KEO,
a defined benefit plan, and KEO, and simple IRA,
Sure.
and sell a 401k.
Yeah, wow.
But the point is the 4% rule gives you a starting point, right, as to how much that you should be able to withdraw from your money.
Yeah, just taking a look at, all right, well, you don't want to pull out any more than 4%, and that's a general rule of thumb. And if you think of it, if I have $1 million, okay, and if I want to pull 4%, that's $40,000 a year. If I have $100,000 saved, I don't want to pull more than $4,000. It's pretty simple math. And so here's the first step that you have to figure out is to say, hey, all right, well, where's my income going to come from? And Al just, I think, laid out every possible scenario for you. But that's your liquid assets. You don't want to pull out any more than 4% out of your liquid assets. But it depends, right, Al? It depends on how old you are. That's kind of a general rule of thumb. But if I'm in my 70s, if I have shorter life expectancy, if I'm in my 50s, that rule of thumb is out the window.
Well, that's exactly right, because that really is just a starting point. So if you think about it, I mean, for some of you, probably 3% is the amount, and others of you, it might be 4 or 5%. And you're right, Joe, it depends upon several factors, like your age at retirement. If you retire at 70 or 75, you can probably take more from your portfolio. Why? Because you probably won't live as long as someone that retires at age 50. Longevity is a factor. How long have your parents lived, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles? How you have your money invested, this is key. If you're all in CDs earning 1%, you won't be able to pull as much out. And then certainly your goals in terms of what do you want to do with this money? Is it simply for you and your retirement? Or do you want to save some for the kids? And if so, then you don't want to spend as much.
Right. I mean, it's a general rule, but I think here's the problem is that most people really don't understand how much money that they need or how much that they can pull from the overall account. I've been doing this close to 20 years, is that most retirees now have more anxiety in their retirement than they when they were working. Because it's like, well, how much can I spend? Can I spoil the grandkids? Can I buy the RV? Can I go on vacation? Can I paint the house? I mean, people really don't have a clue on how much money that they can take out of their overall accounts to make sure that it's still going to be there over the next 10, 20, or 30 years. And of course, it depends on how you're investing this. In today's crazy markets, right, if your account balance is down now 9, 10, 15%, depending on what you're invested in, now, are you still taking the same amount of money out? Where are you pulling those dollars from? Are you selling stocks when they're down? A lot of things to consider. Now, the markets were rosy for the past 4 or 5 years. Now we're back to volatile markets. Now it's time to get to work to figure out exactly what you need to do. Here's what we'll give you today, is that we'll give you a full free financial analysis. Right? You want to come into the office, we'll give you an assessment of everything that you need to do given today's times, given what your goals are, how much money that you should be pulling out. We'll talk about Social Security strategies, your pension strategies. How do you create the income that you need, save a lot of money in tax, take a lot less risk than you're currently doing, and guess what? Enjoy your retirement. That's what it's all about. 888-994-6257. Call that number right now. It's absolutely free for everyone that calls within the next half an hour. 888-994-6257. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about Social Security strategies. I'm going to go to the whiteboard and talk about if you're taking money from a down market, what that can do to your portfolio. Don't go anywhere. Show's called Your Money, and it's Your Wealth.
This week's question is, when should I take Social Security? Now that's a question that I can't cover completely in a couple minutes, but I at least want to go over the basics. All right, so there's really 3 alternatives when it comes to taking Social Security. I can either take it early, I can wait until my normal retirement age, or I can wait until age 70. Right, so when it comes to the normal retirement age, it's different for everyone. Now, it used to be age 65 for everyone, but now depending on the year that you were born, that's what determines your normal retirement age, and that's really where all the benefits start or what they're based on. So if I was born 1943 to 1954 as an example, my full retirement age or normal retirement age is age 66. Now if I was born after 1960, then my normal retirement age is 67, and there's a lot of different options in between. Now regardless of what my normal retirement age is though, the earliest I can take Social Security is age 62. Now there's a downfall in taking it at age 62. There is a penalty. So if I take it at age 62, it's a 25% penalty or a 25% reduction from my normal retirement age benefit. Now that's permanent for the life of me taking Social Security. Or if I push it out all the way until age 70, my benefit potentially could grow 8% per year, which is also permanent for the life of me taking Social Security. So that difference can be substantial.